Hey yo, what is up YouTube? Welcome back guys. Yeah, if some of you might have realized this is my second channel. I'm trying to build a second channel only for reaction videos. I'll be posting only reaction videos on this channel. For my first channel, I'm gonna be just uploading videos like vlogs and other quality content for you guys to watch. So yeah, if you want to watch some vlogs and some older reactions, go to my first channel and watch it. I'll put the link on the description so you guys can check it out. So yeah, anyway, get me to 1000 subscribers by the end of June, guys. Help me out, please. Really, I need your help. Anyway, for this video, I'm gonna be reacting to this video. Is Philippines a third world country? Before I get into the video, I would like to say, probably from my own perspective, I would say if someone from me, like from my personal view, someone from Papua New Guinea, which is also a third world country, the way I see Philippines is probably like somewhere in between, third world and a first world country, because economy in the Philippines is really booming, like really booming. A lot of people are working. Before the pandemic happened, a lot of people was working. Like the economy was really doing well. Probably one of the top economic countries here in Southeast Asia.
Is the Philippines a third world country? What do I think? What the Filipinos think? And is it a good idea to hire people there?
I think it's somewhere in the middle though. The Be Hero.
So a year ago, I posted a video about why I hire people in the Philippines, and we talked about it being a third world country. I got hundreds and hundreds of comments requesting that I change that and that I call it a developing country, a developing nation. And that definitely describes what I saw when I went there last November.
Okay.
And so they are definitely a developing country. I mean, they have the technology, they have the skyscrapers, they have the internet. My team does amazing work. They're highly educated, so they are a developing country. When I think of a third world country, I think about people that live remotely, that live in huts, that live in the jungle, that don't have running water, that don't have electricity.
Probably like the most parts of Papua New Guinea.
There are so many islands on the Philippines that I'm sure there are millions of people that are still third world in the Philippines. There's just thousands and thousands of islands. But the area that I went, within several hours radius in both ways of Manila, there were freeways, there were gas stations, there's fast food places, there's skyscrapers, there's internet, there's free Wi-Fi, there's convenience and grocery stores.
That's true.
And I don't consider that third world, but definitely a developing country. One of the reasons why, even though you have all of these amenities or all these resources, is they still have their struggles. They have internet shutoffs, they have power outages. When they have hurricanes, it's really devastating to that country. I guess a hurricane is devastating to any country. Let me put it this way. I mean, minimum wage
That's
is really, really
in the eastern part of the country.
Let me bring up my computer here.
Eastern part of the country.
I had this on my screen earlier. Let me just show you where the Philippines is. Alright, we come across the Pacific
Hey, Papua New Guinea
there.
there.
We are. Philippines. Tons of islands. Apparently there's like 10,000 islands in total.
There's like 7,000 islands.
Is the most populated. There's other big cities like Davao down here.
That's true.
In November, I'm excited. I'm going to spend a few days in Manila. Then I'm going to come down here to El Nido and have some book writing time. But I got off track. We're coming here looking for minimum wage. One thing that I found that was really helpful was this map. You see that according to this color code, the darkest regions is up here, the 10.
One thing I don't like about foreign companies, why they are establishing here in the Philippines, because they are taking advantage of the fact that Filipinos can be paid minimum wage without Filipinos can be paid minimum wage without even complaining. That's the thing I don't like. Like, they are taking advantage of the labor and the kindness and it's just that's the thing I don't like. When companies come into the Philippines, they are providing jobs, but at the same time you have to look at how compensate people according to how they are working, not because you're taking advantage of the fact that they don't really mind being paid less. That's the thing I don't like. I don't know. Continue, guys. We'll just
down to the blues that are the $5 to $10 per range. change all the way down here to like this light purpley color, and then we get gray for no data or no minimum wage. So we see that Canada and Australia and parts of Europe and England have the highest minimum wage. The United States is a little bit lower than that. You see some countries down here in South America and in the Middle East. I noticed Japan over here. Then, the color starts to get lighter and lighter and lighter. And notice that kind of the lightest purple, you see lots of this through Africa, you see some things through India.
That's because they are...
Mongolia, but you see the Philippines.
That's because they are developing, still developing.
And if we go down and
probably
check,
much
that
of them...
looks like, the minimum wage of $0 to $1 per hour. So it depends on what part of the Philippines you're in. I'm sure if we zoomed into a whole map of the Philippines, you'd see that in the heart of Manila or the heart of another big city in the Philippines, incomes or minimum wages are higher than that, but in other places it's lower. Besides the low minimum wage, it's actually really hard to find a job in the Philippines that pays really good. Now, a good job, what people are willing to do for $400 a month, they're willing to leave their home and family for 6 months at a time to go on a cruise ship or to go to another island and work a job and send that money back home.
That's
they're willing
true.
to really make a huge sacrifice for $400 a month. So that's a great opportunity.
That's true.
If I were to step in and offer them more, say I paid them $500 a month and they could work from their home.
Oh,
They
that's...
only had to work.
Okay. What he was saying there, that's kind of cool though. I thought he was just being here to recruit people just because of minimum wage, but then he was willing to pay them extra. Actually, that was good. That's
40
cool.
hours a week. And they can have a flexible schedule so they can dedicate time to family and to their hobbies and whatnot. That is a dream opportunity for them. I mean, that website that I've mentioned in other videos, virtualassistanttool.com, there are 200,000 people from the Philippines that have filled out a profile there and let you know all of their skills, saying, hey, I would love to work for an American boss. I'm willing to work for $350 a month. Please hire me. I'm willing to work for $500 a month. Please hire me. I noticed I got off track again from the topic. Is the Philippines a third world country? Well, I have another perspective. When I was there last November, there was this amazing mall. In fact, we went to the top floor of this mall. There's a great restaurant there, and that's where I met my team for the first time. Very elegant, fancy dinner. But right outside the mall, I needed to catch an Uber and go back to my Airbnb. And on the other side of this wall was this big, massive area of slum. It was like crumbled buildings. There was extension cords going, and you could see a fan inside of this
That's true.
half-survived building and a curtain blowing. People were living in this slum, and I just thought it was the most interesting contrast. When I think of a third world country, I mentioned that I thought about people living in huts, but I still thought of them like being happy and thriving and having food to eat, and I don't know. The contrast was actually really surprising to me, that right across this wall from this fancy, ornate, amazing, beautiful, like you go in the mall and there's Rolex and all these high brands.
Oh yeah,
more
that's true.
elegant than the malls in Utah, actually. And then right across the wall was this slum. Lots of...
That's actually true. That's like the setting here you will see in Manila and as well as here in Cebu. Like just opposite from a business park, or just opposite from a place where there's really sky-rise building and really fancy restaurant, really fancy department stores or malls. Just the opposite, you would see like a slum area, not a slum, but slum area, where there's like a squatter settlement where people are just living, like, that's just how here in the Philippines, guys. But regardless of anything, these people are some of the most happiest people ever.
dirty looking pets, no sidewalks, no grass, no healthy trees, just all this rubble,
Yeah,
and lots of families with pinned up blankets living there. And I
that's true,
don't
that's
know
true.
why I'm telling you this, just kind of letting you know that there are some third world parts, even in the developed part
Yeah,
of the Philippines.
that's true.
And I'm sad about that. I'm hoping that the work that I'm sending to the Philippines, the money that I'm providing there, even though it's a great blessing to me, even though it's a lower amount than I would need to have to hire people like that here, my hope is that I'm helping to elevate the economy there. In my small way of hiring 14 people and giving So with that, if you're an American or somebody looking to hire people in the Philippines, then I definitely want you to check out the website that I use. It's virtualassistanttool.com. You can dig through those 200,000 profiles and find the person that matches the criteria you're looking for. Just reach out to them for this.
Yep. Actually, that's kind of true.